All right, today is Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. The time is 3:45. I will now call the Policy Committee meeting to order. Ms. Kenny, is there a quorum present?
Yes, there is.
All right, thank you. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. We have no review of policies on the agenda for this time. So we will move to section 4, which is revision of policies. And we will begin with policy number, I want to make sure I have my numbers here correct, 208, development, adoption, and implementation of policies is number 208. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 208 to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion.
Yes, Mr. Venti, I'm okay with, it's on, what is it, 4D. It talks about similar matters. I'm okay as long as similar matters don't affect the context or the meaning. So I think it doesn't. So I'm fine with it.
Discussion. Last call for discussion. All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 402, disability and non-discrimination policy, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. Just quick description from MSBA, who made the revision. It adds reasonable accommodation process provision enacted by the 2026 Minnesota legislature, and that this is a mandatory policy. Second call for discussion. Final call for discussion. All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 423, employee and volunteer student relationships, to the school board?
So moved.
All right, and I will go ahead and second that one. Discussion.
Mr. Venti, thank you. I noticed that they added on its, under EF there, on page 2, grooming prohibited. I noticed that as I talked to you before about that, they do leave out 16 and 17-year-olds, but as you mentioned, there's, you have training for sexual harassment, and also on the prior page, it talks about, I think it goes into it, at length, sexual relationships are strictly forbidden and may subject the employee to criminal liability. So I think we've got our bases covered here. Does it seem like everybody agree on that? Mm-hmm. I also would just like to add the paragraph, it's on page 2, but under F there. They crossed that out. I would like to keep that note in there. I think it's a good idea. I think it adds more clarity.
So are you making an amendment?
Yes, I'll make an amendment to keep that
So-
note in there. I think it just adds more clarity and, to the staff, and I think it's a good thing, so.
Okay,
I'd like to.
So for the record, can I get you to
Oh,
officially make
yes,
the
I
amendment?
would like to make an amendment to keep that note in there, as it is.
All right. Is there a second to this amendment?
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All right, discussion? You kind of talked a
Yeah,
little bit.
I just think it adds more clarity. It's more safeguards in place.
Okay.
And I think it's just a good idea to keep it in there.
Okay.
So, just as a precaution.
Any further discussion?
Is there a rationale as to why it was removed, like it's redundant or included in?
There isn't. My guess is MSBA is just trying to be a little bit more general. To me, it makes sense to keep it in there, so. Final call for discussion?
Just a clarifying question.
Yep.
Is there somewhere in either athletic policy or another policy regarding coaches or staff giving students a ride to or from an activity or home?
So employees are forbidden to transport students in their own vehicles?
Yes. I just wanted to make
Oh,
sure
you
that
have-
was clarified. Oh, it's, oh, I am so sorry. The question was related to staff transporting students to and from an activity or to and from home. I know in the past we've had situations where that has occurred and we've dealt with it. Just wanted to make sure it's in one of our policies somewhere along the line.
Yes, so. All right, hearing no further discussion, we are voting on the amendment to keep the note in there as written after section F. Okay, that would be 2F, to keep the note, all right? So that's what we're voting on. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so now we move back to discussion on policy 423, employee-student relationships, with the note that that note after 2F will be kept in there. All right. So discussion on policy 423.
Again, is this something that we're going to include in a student handbook, or are we looking at MSBA's model handbooks for students coming up?
So this would fall under an adult policy.
Okay,
So this would be a personnel policy, not a student policy. So it would be in a personnel handbook, not in, or an HR handbook, not in a student handbook.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for the clarification.
all right. 400 series is personnel, so,
Got it.
all right. Final call for discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, policy 423 will move on to the school board. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 507.5, school resource officers, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Discussion? The description from MSBA, it just adds provisions on duty to identify and chemical irritants enacted by the 2026 Minnesota State Legislature. So, just updating it, duty to identify, and then any chemical irritants, so. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 509, enrollment of non-resident students, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. So 509 is a mandatory policy, and they added a description of what I believe is a lawsuit, and they formatted some revisions and reference updates are included. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 521, student disability non-discrimination, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? I will go ahead and second that one. Discussion. Once again, 521 is a mandatory policy. MSBA has added reasonable accommodation process provisions enacted by the 2026 Minnesota legislature. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 524, internet acceptable use and safety policy and form, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
All right. Discussion. 524 is a mandatory policy. And there's been added a new statute regarding notification enacted by the legislature here in 2026. That can be found on page 4 and 5. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 613, graduation requirements, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. The one change that was made in here, or I should say one of the changes that was made in here, is MSBA has added the high school diploma for veteran provisions enacted by the 2026 Minnesota legislature. That can be found on newly added section 9, which offers a high school diploma to those that were involved during the Korean conflict or the Vietnam War that were unable to finish due to those two conflicts. Any further discussion?
Mr. Venti, I would just, I think that's a really good piece, and I was happy to see that in there.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 621, literacy and the READ Act, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? I will go ahead and second that one. Looking here real quick. The description, MSBA has added READ Act revisions enacted by the 2026 Minnesota legislature. So they continue to update this policy. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. We might be on record pace here if these last two don't trip us up, all right?
Oh, I don't know. This one's kind of,
Wendy, I hold you personally responsible. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 709, student transportation, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
second.
All right. Discussion. So 709 is a mandatory policy. The additions have been first aid requirements for school buses enacted, and it adds a school bus definition. So I was actually at a training today, conference today, where they discussed this as well, so.
Good.
Discussion?
Mr. Venti, yes. If I may deviate just a little bit and give me a little leeway, as long as we've got a principal here, elementary, and an elementary person here, because I know I discussed this with you before. On page 2, it talks about like all students in grade K through 6 are transported by school bus, and then they have to be trained by bus safety training by the end of the 3rd week of school. I know I discussed this with you, Mr. Benty, but I would like to, we've got some elementary people here. Do you think that's too late, or do you think it should be earlier? I just want your opinions. And I know it wasn't a revision, but as long as I have you here.
I guess in my experience as an elementary principal, I've never had that question raised. I think the first week to 2 weeks of school are pretty crazy and hectic,
That's what
and
you
we're
said.
trying to
Yeah.
establish those routines with kids and relationships. So
Yep.
Okay.
I actually like that we have that
Okay,
flexibility to go out 3 weeks.
Yes.
I've never had any colleagues or
okay. You
staff.
think it's okay?
Yeah.
I know, Mr. Benty, you said, I just wanted to, as long as I had it, and I know it's in a revision, but as long as I have you two here, and you're not in your head.
Yep.
I'm fine with it then.
Perfect.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 722, public data requests, to the school board?
So moved.
All right, and I will go ahead and second that one. Discussion. So first, this is a mandatory policy, and it adds safe-at-home participation to data protection provisions enacted by the 2026 Minnesota legislature. So it just adds in a group for that. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. I believe, double checking here, that is our last policy. So we have no new policies to look at. Our next meeting will be October 6th. So what we're going to be looking at doing here, just so that everybody knows, is we have really gotten caught up. There wasn't a ton of revisions this year from the legislature. So we're going to kind of look at going maybe every other month for right now, because we can fit that in. So that's what we're going to be looking at doing, which is why we're going to move to October, okay?
Perfect.
So rather than bring everyone in and say, all right, here's 2 or 3 policies to go through, we'd rather do it every other month and say, here's 6 or 7 to go through, so. So next meeting is October 6th, 2026. If there are no more items to discuss, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned.